Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Casper Network, aka Casper the Friendly Ghost. So let's just dive in and let's start off with this tweet here from Casper Labs Coin. And we do see Casper comes out with many important features. Revolutionary features are expected in NFTs. Casper will continue to improve and add new features until it's as perfect as it should be. We can't wait for the Casper 2.0 upgrade. Absolutely beautiful. And yeah, a lot of the feature sets on Casper is very, very significant compared to most of the other networks in this space. One thing that I always make sure to note on with Casper is just how early we actually are. I mean, like, the ecosystem doesn't have a ton of use cases built out fully yet. They have some significant partnerships, which we will definitely discuss in this video. But I think that with Casper 2.0, I think that that's going to unlock a lot of efficiencies that maybe some other major partnerships are looking for. I always make sure to stress the idea that with these enterprise-grade networks that are focused on the enterprise-grade sector, we always see a little bit of a delay. And what do I mean by that? Well, when we look at projects like, I'll just throw Solana in, right? The reason why Solana had so much growth behind it is because it was VC backed and it was catered to the retail sector. When you have an enterprise grade network, things are going to be slow. We've seen this and we've actually dealt with this with Hedera. It's the idea that a lot of the use cases that are being built out on some of these projects are under an NDA, meaning the enterprise grade partnerships are still under an NDA. You won't hear about them until they are ready to fully announce, and you just got to be patient with it. But when we look at what Casper is really building at, and the feature set, and also like the infrastructure and everything behind it, I do believe that growth is going to happen at a very massive rate. And the reason why is because of the four areas that they are focused on, which is network growth and upgrades, tokens on Casper, NFTs, research, and development. As we see a lot more of the network kind of grow and upgrades happen, it's going to unlock more of it's going to be catering to specific use cases, but also allowing for a lot more to kind of blossom out on Casper. I also think that it's good to note the fact that the infrastructure support as well as the developer and institutional support of Casper is also very significant, as it does support developers, entrepreneurs, businesses through its private, hybrid, and even public network. And I think that that's a crucial area to focus on. So, as we really kind of get into Casper 2.0, which we have broken down in the past, I think it's tagged or no, I think that they removed it from their pinned tweet. They now have this the lockup on Ledger tweet here. But before they did have the tweet about Casper 2.0 and the efficiencies that it will unlock. It's a huge feature set, and I think that's going to be very lucrative for them. And talking about building out on Casper, we do see a growing number of organizations are building on Casper for its predictable and cost-effective gas pricing, ease of migration for existing dApps and dApps, or apps and dApps, environmentally friendly energy consumption model, meticulous support and services as well. Now, a lot of people have questioned, if there is anybody building out on Casper, because the case studies page over here on their website doesn't have many. I mean, it's like 5 names, and I would argue that 4 out of the 5 are barely anything to write home about because they are NFT based, artwork based as well. So it's not like a huge significant utility case for those, but IPwe has always been the one that shines the most. But you got to also remember that this is just on Casper Network's website. This is not mentioning the partnerships of Casper Labs. When we go over to Casper Labs, for example, going back to just May of this year, there was a huge partnership with Telangana, the government of Telangana. And this was to provide an open permission network for them, and also really kind of put a spotlight on building applications on Casper technology. And this would be huge for Casper Network as well. So when we look at this, and you look at the technology factor behind Casper, it's really kind of allowing for these enterprise grade names to come over to the Casper blockchain and really build out some very strong use cases. And we even do see, like, the Casper blockchain is the only fully decentralized, highly secure and scalable blockchain trusted by governments, enterprises, and Fortune 500 companies worldwide. And I really do think that even if you go over to the Casper Labs website, you could see a lot of the names that are tied to it around the enterprise success story. So when we click here, you can see like IPwe, the Metacask, and all of these other ones down here. But you also do see the BSN, which this was the huge one with Fuzhou chain, and then you also see Casper for the government, and you can see the Chinese one, or sorry, I didn't mean to click the Chinese one. When we click here, you could see the one that they are building out with China, or at least I thought that it would be mentioned here. So I'm not seeing that one, but I actually have the announcement here anyways because I was prepared to talk about it. So we do see China's BSN will add Casper Labs proof of stake blockchain to its network, and I guess this is really just talking about their focus point on the government entities. So it's not really giving us a breakdown of who they are working with in terms of the governmental standpoint, but they definitely are working with some of the high tier names. And here are some of the challenges, by the way, that they're focused on. So blockchain has high barriers to entry because it's still a relatively new technology. Government officials and policymakers are unsure how to identify and evaluate potential applications for blockchain. Many governments have complex centralized processes that are not secure and are difficult for citizens to use. How can governments know whether the benefits will justify the investment of resources? And this is how they can help over here. You guys can read it if you want. But yes, I think that when we really kind of look at where Casper is centered on, I think a lot of these success stories are going to continue to blossom out. Over on Casper Labs, by the way, there's a lot more success stories. I think that we will see a lot more kind of being built out as we do continue on into the next major cycle. But give us some time, and I do think that a lot of the NDAs are going to start to kind of be pushed to fully live and allow them to announce what they are doing with some of these bigger names out there. So I'm very excited for that. Also, from CoinDesk, going back to October of this year, we did see Casper's CEO and co-founder talking about how Casper Labs has its sights set on enterprise. I think that this is awesome. I think that when we really kind of look at the things that a lot of these networks in the space do offer, I think that's a very inefficient market just yet for enterprise adoption. Like up here, you do see like most current blockchain offerings are insufficient for enterprise needs. I completely agree. This is also why I supported Hedera early on, because Hedera was also, focused on some of the biggest names in the game, and they became a leader within the enterprise grade sector as well. So when you look at Casper and what Casper is doing, where they are focused on, I think that's going to really mature into a very, very solid network. I think that's going to take some time, though. Like I said, NDAs, these enterprise-grade networks do take some time, but we have been seeing some of the names behind Casper continue to expand rapidly, like IPwe. Like I said, IPwe is like one of the blue chip partners that Casper does have, just because of what they have already accomplished for IPwe. We do see down here this quote, partnering with the expert talent at Casper Labs and building on the Casper blockchain enabled IPwe to sign up more than 300 companies in less than 4 months. Casper provides us with the strongest and most sustainable solution to supercharge the evolution of the patent and intellectual property ecosystem. Now, a lot of people think that the IP area is not like anything special. Well, IPwe has been expanding rapidly with Casper as well. They have these huge events. This one's in India, actually, with the Indian Chamber of Commerce. This is huge. And then over here, we also did see another announcement of an event. This was the Austin Startup Week on the economics of IP, and we are going to see them focused on startups and helping them continue to build out. And then after all of this, we've seen a partnership with Clarivate. I hope that I'm saying that, or Clarivate, I believe. So powers our smart and tangible asset management platform with what we believe is the largest, best, and most reliable curated intellectual property database in the world. And when we looked at IPwe initially, and we did the research on it, we talked about how there's going to be a huge shift in this area. In fact, we even do see down here from Clarivate, the IP industry is undergoing a tremendous digital transformation, and blockchain will play a critical role in this shift. I think that this is great because this is going to provide a lot more volume and value to be moved over Casper with IPwe, and the reason why is because when we look at Clarivate, you could actually see when we look over here, changing the way the world's risk takers and trailblazers create life-changing innovations. And then when you come down here and you actually look at the numbers behind this team, first off, more than 11,000 colleagues located around the world, and we work with over 200 partners to deliver value and success for our customers. The interesting thing about this is that look at all of the areas that they are focused on. I mean, this is huge. You can actually see who we serve. You see corporate government, legal services, life sciences, and healthcare. Also academia as well. Like this is huge for again, like this is huge for the IP area, because when you look at the product and services area over here, you could see all of the huge areas. More so, this is what we are focused on: is IP intelligence, IP lifecycle management, IP services as well. And when we look here, you can see the patent and trademark maintenance, which would most likely be the big area of focus from Casper, because that's what they are really kind of centered on. I think a lot of this is going to be very, very large. I could actually see this continuing to expand. I would love to know some of the names behind this team. I looked at some of the links over here. We couldn't find much in terms of who they are working with. But very similar to other major partnerships of IPwe, we know that a lot of them are like the Fortune 500 companies and things like that. I know that when we go up here to the company tab, you could see, I don't know why it keeps, I'm trying to just hover over it, but it keeps going to this page. I looked at the leadership behind this company, and there's they're actually from some substantial backgrounds, and I think that a lot of these connections to IPwe, when you actually go over to the IPwe website, they fully updated their website, by the way, since the last time I talked about them. You could see a lot of their partnerships that they label here, but down here you see all of the major names that are tied to IPwe. IBM, which IBM is a direct partnership with Casper, KPMG, DLA Piper, which is a partnership of Hedera, Hyperledger, Finitive, and Enchain. So this is huge. This is great. And they continue to expand their IP services, which is going to expand the names to Casper. So far, they have 700 plus members in regards to their smart polls. I don't know if they have any numbers on their IP services, but I know that they have a large amount of like partners within their patent service, which is around blockchain, which is centered on Casper, because they're already at 300 new clients in less than 4 months, and this is going to continue to expand rapidly because of what Casper is focused on, where they're focused on as well. And I'm very excited going forward to see what Casper does come up with. I think that Casper 2.0 is going to be huge for the success rate of Casper, and I'm very excited to see, like I said, the new partnerships that do blossom out of that. I do think that in 2023 we will most likely see a lot more names added to it. Hopefully we will see a lot more enterprise grade names, and also even government names, because that seems like the major focus point from Casper. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Wherever you guys are on this before, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.